think we're making progress in these sessions. You say the flashbacks have stopped. This is excellent improvement.
Hi, this is Alex, and I'm here with Matthew, who's travelled all the way to San Francisco this month to get a world-exclusive first look at Tomb Raider.
Exciting.
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, which kind of confusing actually as a name. I didn't ask them about this while I was out there, but this is the Rise of the Tomb Raider, but the first one was Tomb Raider. So presumably...
she hadn't risen yet.
Yeah,
so
which one is she?
It's like a gone wrong.
She wasn't Tomb Raider. I wonder, yeah, it was the...
Anyway.
But I think the big thing that I took away was that in the first game, they worked really hard to kind of make it their own thing. They made this, they call it survival action, really kind of redefine Lara Croft and kind of make her a different hero. And this game, interestingly, kind of takes her back to like her more traditional territory, but kind of taking the lessons learnt of that first game with it. So it's kind of, it will have giant tombs with all kind of intricate puzzles that weren't in Tomb Raider, but it'll also have that survival action element, so it'll be a bit more kind of like her against the kind of elements, her against the natural world. They've really increased the crafting element, made it a lot more kind of bespoke.
I'd say if there was a knock against the Tomb Raider reboot, which we're going to call it, because it's quite awkward to place when they just give things the same names. I thought it's a difficult game to place because I thought it felt really good. I liked the world, but I felt that it lacked in scale, both in the open world and particularly in the tombs. This is something that they've been working on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a bit of a joke in the first one that they called the tombs, they were secret tombs, but like when you went near the door, like a gong would go off and it would say like a secret tomb's nearby, and you're like, how did you know?
Arrows pointing down
it
at
was
them,
literally
chalk lines.
like short of having like giant flashing neon Las Vegas, arrows, it was big chalky things. So yeah, and you'd go in and it would just be kind of like push a crate on a pulley on a lift to kind of lift up another platform, and it was all a bit man-made. And I think they've kind of taken that to heart a bit. I mean, this one is like tombs a go-go. I mean, we didn't see any of the tombs in action. We saw like a slideshow where they kind of cut through and gave us like a snapshot of like, it looked like, I don't know, probably like 7 or 8 different locations, and they were huge. It was proper kind of, you go into a giant room, there's lots of multiple parts to the puzzle. It's not just, you do this bit to get up to that platform. So, that's definitely taking it back. And if you played Underworld, which Crystal Dynamics made, that had huge tombs as well and kind of really hinted at what you could use, kind of the heft of like modern day consoles to do, and with the kind of Xbox One powering it, you can do even more with it now. So I think that element is definitely increased. And likewise, when you leave the tombs, the outside, they call them the hub areas, and they said they were going to be like 2 to 3 times bigger than what you saw in Tomb Raider on 360, which was obviously they were reasonably sizable,
and hints that it's worth revisiting areas. Like they've got a sort of Metroid sort of thing where you level up. We're talking about a bear, for example, that you can't kill when you first encounter it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It sounds like the whole kind of the secrets and the exploration sounds a lot more organic. Because the first game had a bit of that. Like you'd return, like the story would naturally bring you back to a couple of locations where you'd be more tooled up. But this one, it's definitely about So the example we saw, she met a bear and then she just had to leg it because she had no weapons. This was quite at the start of the game, and then they jumped forward a few hours and she came back with a bow, and she was she could finally fight the bear. And then when when she sort of snuck into its cave, she discovered that was a secret tomb. So I think they're going to kind of like lock things off and guard things with challenges which you won't necessarily have the kit to kind of deal with, as opposed to door type A, you need arrow type B to open. It's going to be a bit more kind of organic feeling, which I'm absolutely all for.
It sounds like there's sort of 2 ways really a game can encourage you to explore. One is to give you meaningful upgrades, the other one is to just give you amazing sights. And you're saying like at the bottom of this bear cave you've got a ship?
So there's like a ship sort of stuck in this sort of frozen waterfall, and it's like you just look at it and go, it's amazing, and then you think, I'm going to get to climb around in that's going to be fun. And I think the habit at the moment is everything is so scripted. Like Uncharted has really taken the kind of third-person action adventure in a very kind of cinematic. It's amazing, but you always see certain sights, the way the developer wants you to see them. And Tomb Raider had a bit of that in it, but I think this definitely feels, from what we've seen anyway, to be a lot more about kind of improvising, kind of making your own fun in that space. And it's by no means like an open world sandbox. It's a nice feeling third person adventure game. It's got that great platforming. The combat looks really interesting. They've added this sort of stealth element to it as well. It feels like it already looks like a really kind of complete game. It looks very full. Like they've really expanded on all the stuff, and the guys there are crazy enthusiastic, and that's true of all game studios, but I think they know that they were really onto something with Tomb Raider, and I think by taking it in a slightly more traditional route, I think they're going to really kind of please a lot more people, and we get it first on Xbox One.